This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Do you have a man in your house who struggles with his emotions? Maybe he has a hard time communicating his feelings, or he has anger issues. Our men are grappling with mental health issues, and this is a conversation that needs to be had more and isn't being had enough. Did you know that US men commit suicide 3.5 times more than women? And white males account for over 68% of that. So needless to say, we want to broach this because our men, it doesn't matter what kind of relationship you're in, our men is a ubiquitous terminology. They play a very important part in this world. So we need to support our men. And we have a wonderful guest here today, Michael Overly, who is going to talk to us about just that. He's got a very unique platform for men. And before we go into it more, and before I introduce Michael, we're going to take a short break from our sponsor. But don't go away, because whether you are a man grappling with your emotions or you love a man grappling with their emotions, you're going to want to hear this. So grab that favorite beverage, get comfortable, and we'll be right back.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms, and our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Hound Healer, and I'm Jody Miller-Young, your host, and we're on Pet Life Radio Network. We are here today with Michael Overly, who is tackling a very, very important subject. Michael is a canine partnered coach. He's also an author. He's also an energy healer. Now, you may hear canine partnered coach. What is that? Well, Michael is going to explain this all to you. He's created a platform called Dogs and Men. It's a podcast, and it's a general platform for men to find insight, support, and knowledge to feel better, learn how to deal with their emotions, and live a healthier, happier life. Welcome, Michael.
Woohoo! Thanks,
That's a pretty
Jody.
long lead-in, huh?
Wow, that was amazing. God, I sound great, don't I?
You really do. You better live up to that, mister. No, I am so excited to have you here. And I think we should dive right in because this is a really important subject. Tell us how you came to this.
Ooh, great question. Most of my life, I had no clue any of this actually existed. About 5 years ago, my older brother died, and he was kind of my hero. And what happened after that was this incredible grieving process. I was just torn open. I had no idea any of that was going to happen. I mean, I was writhing in pain, sobbing. And after I was able to get a little relief from that, I started to see things differently. I noticed things differently. And I didn't like who I was. I didn't like how I was showing up in the world. And I thought, oh my gosh, I had no clue. I really didn't. And I thought, I need to change this. I want to be different. I want to show up different. And I started noticing what my own little dog was doing. This incredible freaking dog was just doing these amazing things. And I thought, okay, I get it. I want more of that. And so I've been on this incredible journey to not just heal myself, but help others heal as well. And it's completely possible, folks. It is absolutely possible. You just have to want to do it.
That's incredible because, so many of us have dogs and we know that they make us feel better, and we know that they're always there for us. They show up, unconditional love. But none of us really have made the connection that they can actually, through their behavior and knowing what to look for, help us heal. And with men, I mean, you and I talk about this a lot. Talk about why this unique proposition is so powerful for men.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny because I just recorded this episode, Unconditional Love, for my podcast this morning. Oh, it's fantastic. It is so fantastic. We get this amazing gift from our animals and we look at it a certain way, right? As we're receiving, we get it. Well, what if it was actually just a model for something that we could give ourselves, right? What if this wasn't something we had to go searching for, a big house, a new spouse, a fancy car, all these things that we think define us and create our identity of who we are. What if that dog is just modeling and mirroring what is actually capable for us?
Wow. Powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful concept. Now, you're in a relationship and your dog Indigo. Tell us how on this healing journey, your work with Indigo has affected your relationship.
Oh, God, that's great. So I think Indigo at this time is here to help me learn extreme patience and respect. So what do I mean by that? Being patient and just allowing her to be who she is and respecting that she is going to be just who she is. We want to tend to change things to fit our model. Let's say we had another dog before. That dog had these behaviors. Well, this dog doesn't have those behaviors, or, it's expectations, right? We create this expectation. So being patient and allowing her to become who she's going to become in her own time and supporting her on that journey is helping me in my own romantic relationship as well. It's absolutely, I'm like, where have you been? I'm like, oh my God, I got another guru. I got another four-legged guru, and she showed up exactly when she needed to show up.
Yeah.
So patience and respect. So respecting the other person for everything about them, regardless whether you don't have to agree with it, you don't have to like it, but respecting that that's who they are. It is so amazing. And when you look at someone from that place, there's no judgment. You're like, oh, it just is what it is.
And I think you said something so key there by saying you have to respect it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. Because oftentimes people think that. They think that by allowing it to be, accepting it, respecting their right to be who they are, means that they have to agree with it and like it. But you don't. They can live completely separately. And I think that can be freeing too. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's such a huge point. Yeah. Accepting doesn't mean approving.
Yeah.
We're all different. We have different perspectives and beliefs, tastes and likes, and that's okay, right? That's how it's supposed to be. If we all liked everything the same, we'd be these, autonomous robots, and that'd be really freaking boring. So life is rich. Enjoy the diversity. Right?
Exactly.
That's why every relationship in your life is different for every other relationship in your life.
That's right. And that's one of the things that makes life so wonderful. We never know what we're going to learn from whomever. Mm-hmm. And I think if we probably talk less and listen more and observe more, that we can learn a whole lot more too. So anyway, you talk about your podcast. You mentioned your podcast, which is great. And it's, for everyone listening, it's in bite-sized pieces with a message, a podcast. So it's really easy to consume and you come away with something valuable. But tell us, the kinds of topics that you cover in the podcast.
Oh, everything. So the format of the podcast follows my first book. Every episode is basically a chapter from the book, and I don't read it, you write it, but it's a spin on the same subject matter, and it's an offering, it's an invitation to a different way of looking things or a different way of being. Right? It's not chock full of advice. I'm not telling you who to be or what to do, or hell, you can go anywhere and get that, and look where it got you. Yeah, it's just an invitation. Like, here's another way to maybe see something. And then go play with your dog because she's trying to tell you something.
Right, exactly. But you have episodes like The Power of Vulnerability or anger or energy.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just said you just recorded unconditional love. So these are
Yeah.
core issues that, while for men it may not be that comfortable to discuss with their friends, or for some even with their significant others, but they can listen to this and they can see other possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge point. In our society, at least, I can't speak for other cultures, but our society, at least, they're not supposed to be vulnerable, right? That's how we're raised. They're not supposed to show any signs of weakness. And being vulnerable is not weak, guys. It's actually the opposite. So yeah, let's get over that crap and have a better life. But we can do better. And if you don't like your life, then it's up to you to change it. And I'm just offering some other perspectives. And I think they can help.
And I think, and the women listening know this, that when men are vulnerable, when they realize that if they're in a relationship with anyone, it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship with a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. But when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, the other person, I mean, that's sexy. And their love comes from that, right? It's transcending. So it might be scary, but it's also an incredible bridge to wonderful things, good stuff.
Absolutely. Oh my God, what a wonderful point. So something about being vulnerable is when you can share, and you don't have to go out and just blab all your stuff out to the world, but if you can share one little thing, one tiny little thing with somebody, afterwards you're like, oh, that wasn't really that bad. I'm actually safe. But you've also done something else. You've created space for something else to enter your life. Right? Because we hold this stuff so tightly that I can't let anybody find out anything about me, like truly about me. And when you let something go, you're like, oh, something nice just came in. And then maybe you share something. Oh, something else nice came in. Hey, this is okay. Because I am extremely vulnerable and share some what I used to think before was shameful and embarrassing things. Now I'm like, you know what? Oh, well, if you want to judge me for it, then that's your problem. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We're human after all. Okay, we're going to hold these powerful thoughts. We're going to take a short break from our sponsor, but don't go away, because when we return, we're going to hear about how Michael was a first responder, right? Before he was doing this, and how maybe that shaped the way you saw and dealt with the world, about your book, which you mentioned. We want to know more about that, and more about this incredible resource that men and the women who love their men have at their fingertips. So refresh that beverage, get cozy. I'll be right back.
For those fortunate to have experienced the deep bond and unconditional love of a companion animal, the death that follows can be one of the most difficult and misunderstood losses to go through. Many times, this devastating loss goes unrecognized and trivialized by family and friends, leaving grieving pet parents struggling to find healthy ways to cope with the loss. In And I Love You Still, a thoughtful guide and remembrance journal for healing the loss of a pet, Dr. Julianne Corbin calls attention to the difficulties unique to the loss of a beloved pet and provides an interactive and compassionate guide to help you process your loss and work towards coming to a place of peace and healing. For those interested in journal therapy and looking for a professionally written and compassionate resource to help understand and reconcile the grief associated with the loss of your pet, this book is for you. And I Love You Still, a thoughtful guide and remembrance journal by Julianne Corbin, is now available for purchase on Amazon and other major book retailers.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, you're listening to the Hound Healer on Pet Life Radio. I'm Jody Miller-Young, your host, and we're here today with Michael Overly, a canine partnered men's coach, an author, an energy healer. Michael's talking with us about his incredible Dogs and Men platform. Now, Michael, you were a first responder. I didn't realize that about you. Tell us what that was like and how that shaped and informed your world and really what you teach now.
So I was an EMT. Most of that time was in the emergency department. And I did do 7.5 years in a level 1 trauma center also.
Wow.
And that was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was scary and powerful and beautiful. And we saved a lot of people and we lost people. What I realized later, the reason I went into all of that was I thought I was there to try and save others. And I wasn't. I didn't know how to help heal myself. So I went to go help other people. So I wouldn't have to deal with my stuff. I could bury that underneath all the traumas and activations and the gunshots and the car accidents and stabbings and the burnings and all that stuff. I could go play hero, right? I get to save everybody else. So there's a rescuer syndrome that we have in our society, and people who are out there doing all these amazing things. And I'm not putting it down at all, but a lot of those people are burying their own stuff by trying to take care of everybody else. I know so many unhealthy healthcare workers, right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. In the veterinary industry, there's a really high rate of suicide among veterinarians. It's higher than any other profession. What? That's crazy. So it's this fascinating thing. I didn't realize all this till later. I even left that field and went into solar and did these other. I was going to save the planet this time, and it was just fantastic because I wasn't ready to deal with my own stuff and do my own healing.
Yeah.
So what that has allowed me to do now is work with these guys who maybe had the same hero syndrome, tough guy syndrome. They're very successful, driven, but know that something just isn't right. They're not who they want to be, and they know there's something more. And it allows me to I have all these incredible experiences that I can draw from because I get it.
Yeah. You've been there. You've been there. So let's talk about your book, Let Your Dog Lead.
Yeah.
Tell us about the book and what prompted you to write it, because that came before the podcast.
So the book came out last year, and it was, I wrote it because of Darby. He was my dog, died last year.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He was with me. Oh, thank you. He was with me when my brother died 5 years ago, and he was the catalyst for this whole thing. I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
The things I witnessed him doing, I was like, what? How is that possible? It's just amazing. So from him helping me open to learning these lessons available to us from our dogs, I needed to tell somebody about it, and my friends were like, whatever. But I still needed to get this message out there. I'd never written a book. I didn't know how to do this. And I eventually got it done. I had basically written multiple books. If you look at the way I'd been journaling for years, I wanted to get this out there to say, guys, look, you don't have to be this alpha male. Oh my gosh, that's been completely blown out of whack. That's not even, most people don't even know what alpha male really means, but we try to personify that as this, I'm an army of one type of character, and it's a farce, right? We can,
a lot of pressure.
We do it to ourselves and we do it to the people around us. Our dogs can show us another way. And I thought, oh my God, I can let him lead. I can let him show me things. That's where that came from.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. I know you talked to me recently about this app that you're developing, a destination. I don't know if it's ready yet, but maybe you want to give people a sneak peek of what is coming down the pike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is in development. We're still working on it. So, but it's going to be a little different. So I want to create a community for guys, and it's not just a, oh, poor me kind of thing, but it's a, wow, you're kidding. And, energetic and sharing. And, hey, have you heard about this? And have you seen this? And have you done this? Create this community where these guys can come together and share in a way that maybe they can't in their daily lives, right? The guys at work, the guys at the gym, oh, look at my biceps. It's not that kind of place. It's this place to do this other type of bodybuilding. Let's say we're going to build up other muscles, and there's going to be a private community. It's literally completely protected. The developer has a patent on this thing. So nobody's information gets sold. Nobody's anything gets shared anywhere. So I'm creating a private community on that. I'm hosting lives through there, and there's going to be a course and crazy amounts of materials, referrals to other people. Like there's this lady, Jody Miller Young, I know, and she's got some cool stuff going on. And I think we're going to refer some things to her because she knows a lot about animal health. So yeah, but I'm partnering with other people too. And it's just going to be this fantastic thing that it's going to be a completely different resource. There's nothing like it out there.
So there's resources not only for men's mental health, but also for the companions that are taking them on this journey.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, wouldn't you take care of your partner? Absolutely.
Course.
Heck yeah, you
Heck
would.
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Is there anything that we have not covered, Michael, that you want to cover?
No, this has been fantastic.
Well, tell people where they can find you and your book.
Oh, the book is Let Your Dog Lead on Amazon. There's a Kindle version and also on Barnes & Noble or your private bookstore. It's available through the distributor Ingram, so you can get it anywhere. I can be reached at michael@dogsandmen.com. I actually took my website down because I was like, this. It was kind of silly. I didn't like it. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm doing a ton of email, and I can be contacted through the podcast. It's on like 25 different platforms. So,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So people can reach you directly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Heck yeah. Reach out to me. I'm not
Yes.
putting my phone number up here, but
Just short of that. Anyone listening, if you think that Michael can offer support or help for what you are dealing with, and boy, we're living in a world where we're all dealing with stuff, reach out to him. He is there. And I can tell you from what I know, it's powerful stuff. And who doesn't want to learn great shit with your dog? Thank you so much for being on the show, Michael. It was wonderful to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Jody. Always a pleasure. Thanks.
And thank you all for listening. As a natural healing and wellness teacher and coach, my mission is to share natural healing options for pet parents seeking a complementary approach to their conventional vet care. So we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but we know that we can help heal our animals and prevent illness naturally. So tune in next time for information, expert interviews, and tips to give the animals we love the longest and most vibrant life we can. I'm Jody Miller-Young, and this is the Hound Healer.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.